The school was old, its walls stained with time, and its hallways lined with faded lockers that whispered secrets of the past. But the most mysterious part of it was the basement, a place no student had ever entered. It was locked, always. Teachers never spoke about it. Some claimed it didn't even exist. But Aiden, Maya, and Lucas had seen the door. It was hidden at the end of a rarely used hallway, behind the janitor's supply closet. The three friends were convinced something was down there, something the school didn't want anyone to find. One Friday afternoon, after the final bell rang and the school emptied, they made their move. The janitor had left early, and the hallways were eerily silent. They crept through the school, their footsteps echoing unnaturally. When they reached the closet, Aiden carefully pushed the door open. Inside, the basement door stood in the shadows, an old metal slab covered in scratches. Lucas reached for the handle. It was locked. Of course, Maya sighed, but Aiden smirked and pulled a paperclip from his pocket. Saw this in a movie once, he whispered, bending the metal. He jiggled the lock, and after a few tries, a loud click echoed through the closet. The door creaked open, revealing a staircase leading into darkness. A damp, moldy smell wafted up, making them hesitate. "Still think this is a good idea?" Maya whispered. Aiden turned on his flashlight. Only one way to find out. They descended slowly, each step groaning under their weight. The deeper they went, the colder it became. At the bottom, the air was thick and heavy, as if something unseen was breathing with them. The flashlight beam swept over cracked tiles, rusted lockers, and broken desks covered in dust. It looked like a forgotten part of the school, left to rot. "Why would they lock this up?" Lucas murmured. Then Maya pointed at something in the corner, a single wooden desk, perfectly clean, as if someone had just been sitting there. A sheet of paper rested on top. Aiden walked over and picked it up. The paper was yellowed, the ink smeared, but the words were still clear. "If you're reading this, it's already watching." A sudden thud sounded from behind them. They spun around. The door at the top of the stairs had slammed shut. Lucas ran up, yanking at the handle. "It's locked," he cried. Then the flashlight flickered. The dim glow barely illuminated the room now, casting long, stretching shadows that seemed to move on their own. And then they heard it. A soft shuffle, the sound of something dragging across the floor. Aiden turned the flashlight toward the noise. In the farthest corner of the room, something stood in the shadows. A figure. It was tall, too tall, its head nearly touching the ceiling. Its arms were long, hanging unnaturally at its sides, and its face, there was no face, only a blank, pale surface. The air grew colder. Their breaths came out in white puffs. The figure twitched, then, in a slow, jerking motion, it took a step forward. Maya screamed. Lucas pounded on the locked door. Aiden's hands trembled as he pointed the flashlight, but the moment the light hit the figure, it vanished. The room was silent again, except for their ragged breathing. Then a whisper. "You shouldn't have come." The flashlight flickered violently. The shadows on the walls twisted and stretched, forming hands, faces, and open mouths, frozen in silent screams. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, an eerie chorus of voices trapped in time. And then, silence. Aiden, Maya, and Lucas stood frozen. The air felt lighter. The shadows were gone, and behind them the door creaked open. Without a word, they bolted up the stairs and ran, their footsteps echoing. They didn't stop until they were outside, gasping for breath under the streetlights. When they turned back, the school looked normal. No shadows, no whispers. But they never spoke about what they saw, because deep down they knew whatever was in that basement wasn't just watching. It was waiting.